Hey all, my name is Angelica Rubio, State Representative for District 35, representing the city of Las Cruces, and this is a brief update. And my apologies, I'm barely eating dinner and it's 20 till 9. But I wanted to come on here to just give you all an update that House Bill 9, the Immigrant Safety Act, had its hearing today in House Judiciary, and it passed. And there were a lot of tears and a lot of celebration because although it's passed in the House last year, it passed out of this committee last year and it's passed out of the House before, this year just feels different. There's a sense of urgency from the legislature, but I think there's also a sense of urgency from the Senate. And so I'm very optimistic, but cautiously optimistic as it heads to the Senate. It will have its House floor hearing on Friday. So today's Wednesday. It'll have its hearing hopefully on Friday. And so if you can call your House rep, please urge them to support this legislation. For folks who are new here, House Bill 9 is the Immigrant Safety Act, and it is legislation that we have introduced a version of for a decade. For as long as I've been serving in the legislature, it was one of the first pieces of legislation that I introduced. And I gotta say that sitting on the House floor today and listening in on the debate and just mad props to the chair of Judiciary, because we generally hear these bills in the committee room, in the Judiciary committee room, and today she opened it up to the House gallery. And so it was just really powerful to see all of the folks that I know who have been working on this issue for such a long time sitting up on the gallery, other legislators who aren't part of the bill sitting in and listening in. It was just a really special time, and I know that things are really dark. Things are really dark in the world right now, in our country. But sitting on the House floor tonight and listening to this debate, it was special. Those of you who don't know me very well, and for those of you who know me very, very well, serving in the legislature has always been really, really hard. It's hard to leave Las Cruces for a very long time. It's hard to leave family and friends behind. And it's hard to just live in a place like my dinner is not, I make dinner here. It's not that great. It's hard to serve in the legislature. And especially because as someone who is pretty left of center in terms of politics, I can also get really frustrated with how slow progress is in this institution. And tonight, sitting on the House floor and just being present and capturing the entire moment of this bill being passed, and seeing such badasses like Representative Eleanor Chavez and Jessica Martinez and Becca from the ACLU doing this amazing work to present this bill, and all of the advocates in the gallery. It was just a powerful moment to me, and a reminder of why I do this. I'm not going to go into much detail on the legislation itself. You can go back and watch some of my videos explaining what House Bill 9 is. But what I will share is that we did make an amendment to the legislation today that would close loopholes and ensure that there will be less coordination between federal, local law enforcement and federal ICE agents. We're trying to basically prevent what's happening in Minneapolis and Minnesota from happening here in New Mexico, at least as much as possible. That piece is not part of the message that the governor gave us. And so we're hoping that the governor will allow us to move this forward with that added piece of legislation. We feel like it'll make it just so much more stronger, and so I'm just excited about how the folks who supported this bill today in committee were just the amount of support for this legislation, it hits different, and it's pretty special. The call to action that I have for you all tonight is that Friday we will be hearing this bill on the House floor. And what that means is that we have passed this bill before out of the House. It has stalled in the Senate in previous years. But because it's on the governor's call, because we have a Senate sponsor, the chances of this bill being signed into law is pretty high. That means that there is a lot of pressure for a lot of the legislators who represent the communities in which Cibola, Torrance, and Otero County, where those immigration detention centers exist. Those legislators are going to be getting a lot of pressure to vote no on this legislation. And part of the reason that they will be receiving a lot of pushback on ensuring that this bill, that they're a no vote on this bill, is for the economic reasons that they are saying about what will happen to these communities if this legislation passes. I have made several commitments to legislators in these areas that I am personally committed, just as I am with like our transition away from oil and gas and other exploitative and extractive industries, that I am just as committed to this issue around closing down these prisons that do immigration detention, to support them in their own economic transition. And we have the Department of Workforce Solutions. The secretary today was so awesome in explaining like some of the programs that already are in existence to support people throughout the state in their efforts to do more training and things like that, and supporting them in their communities. And so that's one of the call to actions that I have for you all today. And I'm sorry, I'm flustered. I'm just really excited about this, that for Friday, please call your legislator. Please urge them to vote yes on this legislation. I know that there's a lot of fear around the economic piece, but I just want to promise folks, like, we're not going to leave these folks behind. We will find, I don't believe that it's going to be as detrimental as some of the folks I feel are fear mongering a lot in the ways in which we've seen it in other types of industries, or when we're like trying to raise the minimum wage, like that the sky is going to fall. I don't believe that that's going to happen, but I want you all to contact your legislators, explain to them like New Mexico is just not to be in this kind of business. Like, we need to reimagine a different economy that is more sustainable for these communities, that is beyond incarcerating people and pitting immigrants against U.S. citizens. Like, that's not who we are as New Mexicans. And it's what I heard a lot of today, is that you just have a lot of people that they should be mad at systems, not at the people that are being targeted. And so I urge you all, please contact your legislator, please contact the governor, and just continue to ask for her support on this legislation, and keep contacting the Senate, and just ensure that once we get it out of the House on Friday, that it has a very fast passage in the Senate. And so thank you all. Again, mad love to all of the advocates and activists who've been working on this issue for so long. We couldn't have done it without you all, and for the leadership, and for all of our members who have everybody has just been so awesome about this issue. And so it's like the speaker said today, 10 years ago, of course, they were shutting this bill down, and now here we are on the House floor hearing a bill and passing it on. And so I just want to thank you all. Talk to you soon.